Hey people, I am back. I apologize for no videos lately. I have been dealing with health issues. I have chronic migraines. I've had them my whole life. Like this last one, it was very, very painful for the last 2 weeks. And between a scale of 1 to 10, it was at this level like 8 to 10 constantly. And if you're a migraine sufferer, you know that bright lights are extremely painful when your head is hurting. If it's down to the pain level of like a 2 to a 5, I can deal with doing a tutorial and I can deal with the bright lights okay. But when it's that high and you've got the nausea and you've got the vomiting, it's just, that's probably a little too much info, you know. And then on top of that, my husband and I have sold this house and we are moving into a new house. So there's just been a whole lot going on. I've been itching to get back on here and do more tutorials because I love doing it. So today I wanted to go back to a more everyday look, at least for me. I've been doing a lot of dramatic looks last couple times, and this is a look that I would wear to work. You could still even tone this down from what I've done. But if I had the time, let me rephrase that. I have the time. If I can get my ass out of bed to give myself the time to do this before work, I would do this look. So without any further delay, if you would like to see how I accomplish this look, then just keep watching. Okay, so since I last filmed, there have been quite a few products that I have used. So I thought that I would kind of share those products with you today. And I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to be doing today, but we will find out. So I have already set and primed my eyelids. I used my typical eyeshadow primer from Hard Candy, and then I set it with a neutral shadow. So one new product I picked up was actually standing in line at Ulta. I really, really hate those little things that they have with all these tiny little products while you're standing there in line, because if you didn't see it, you wouldn't buy it because it's right there. You will. So one of those things was this tiny little Morphe palette. It's the 3B Pure Nude palette, and it has these 3 little colors right here. I think that this may turn out to be a really good tiny little take with you anywhere palette for anybody who doesn't want to take a huge ass palette with them and you just want to put a little bit of color in your eyes. So this isn't the only thing I'll be using today on my eyes, but we are using this guy. So all of them are a little darker than I would use for first transition shade, but just for the sake of showing what you can do if this is the only palette that you have, I'll start with one of these colors. So I'm going to go in with the Morphe M441 Fluffy Brush that has a little, and the first color I'm going to go in with is this color right here, and it's actually called Kinda Neutral, which is awesome. It's like perfect. Okay, geek moment over. So I'm going to put that on this brush, and we're going to put this in the crease and just kind of put it lightly, because you can see how dark it is. Like, this is a little darker than I would use for a first transition shade on someone as pale as I am. But you're just going to go from the outer to inner corner, and then as I do, you see these circular motions that I do, and you just buff that in as much as you want until you get the color payoff that you want with this specific shade. So the next shade I'm going to go in with is this guy right here, and this is called Velvet. And I'm going to go in with my M433 blending brush. So I'm just putting up in the inner and outer corner, staying in the crease. And then as always, in between each shade, I go back in with that Morphe M441 brush, and I blend to make sure that there are no harsh lines. So just go back and forth, and you can do a little bit of the circular at the end. Next, I'm going to go in with this guy right here, and this color is called Deep Hue. I'm going to put that on the outer corners of my eye, and I'm going to pack that on using the same Morphe M433 brush we've been using. And we're going to pack that. I'm curious to see how dark it will get. It's not super, super dark, but first I pat it and pack it on the outer corner where I want, and then I start moving it around to where I want it. now I'm gonna go back in with that fluffy M4, you think I'd have these freaking memorized by now. The fluffy M441 brush, and just gonna go in and blend again. So yeah, you can stop here as far as adding colors to your eyelids. I'm not going to because there's still more products that I want to share. This is the 3.5 Victor Stunning Vibes palette, and this is also from Morphe. This guy is awesome. You have all of these shades right here that are super, super neutral. Then you move to the middle here where you can get more warm, like I tend to do. Then you get over here to your cooler tones and more dramatic tones. And it has a black, and this black is bomb. And it has a highlight shade. And it has this neutral shade that you could really use to set your eyelids. So this has pretty much anything you could want if you just want to take one palette with you on a trip. Anyway, I do want to darken up my outer corners. So what I'm gonna do actually is take a mixture, that guy right there, and this guy right here. There are names for this. It's on a transparent thingy, and I don't know where that is. So just gonna take that Morphe M433 brush and dab into both. And start packing that on my outer corner. Now going back in with that fluffy brush again, just to make sure everything is blended. So now I'm gonna go in with a lid color, and I wanna go in with this bronzy shimmer right here. And to put that on, I'm gonna be using the MAC 239 flat shader brush. And I am going to dip it in water so that I get better foiled color payoff. I'm just gonna pack that on the lid, starting from the inner corner, and then stopping right at the crease, and then stopping at the middle of your lid, or wherever your outer corner color stops, or wherever you want that outer corner color to stop. I want to blend edges together with this foiled shadow we just put on. And I like to do that with the Morphe M506 brush now. So this is really good at blending those edges that you want, softening things without blending away a bunch of the product. So now I'm gonna go in with the Sigma Flat Definer E15 brush. So I'm gonna go in with this black right here from this palette. So I'm putting that on the flat definer brush, and I'm stamping it along my lash line, my upper lash line, just to give a darker definition to our lashes. And then once you have it where you want it, you can move the product around to make sure the line has an even distribution throughout where you want it on your eye. And I like doing this step a lot during the week for work because I'm not gonna put on, like, that is one thing I won't do, is put on false lashes for work. And so I like to make sure that I can make my lashes as dark and full as possible without falsies when I'm gonna go on with a full, like, glam eye. All right, now it's time to clean up this hot mess we have going on here. I'll just take a makeup wipe, any makeup wipe will do, and clean up all the fallout and shape your outer corner how you want it. And my eyes naturally droop down. That's just the way my face has always been, even when I was younger. So I like to make it so that the shadow goes up, and this really helps with the illusion that your eyes are not so downturned if you have the same problem. Okay, now we're gonna put on a coat of mascara. I definitely take more time to make sure that my lashes have a good coat because they are going to be working by themselves today. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the face. I need to put on my moisturizer. If I were just using my moisturizer, I would have put it on forever ago. But because I mix it with this Drunk Elephant, I don't put it on until right before I put on my face makeup. And when I get the fallout in my eyes, of course I gotta clean that up. And then so when you're wiping up the fallout, you wipe away the color that this is giving you in certain portions of your face. So that's the only reason that I wait to put this on now, right before I start on my face. And I'm just going to mix those two together. Okay, so now we're gonna go in with primer. This is the primer from Fenty Beauty by Rihanna. And I love this primer. If you have oily skin, I think, oily to combination skin, I think you're gonna love this. And it's the Pro Filt'r Instant Retouch Primer. Looks like a cream. I do notice that her products kind of have like this perfumey smell, which I'm not crazy about because part of my migraine problem is a serious sensitivity to smells, but it's not bad enough for me to not be able to use it. So next I'm going to go in with my Tarte CC Under Eye Corrector, and this is in the color Light Medium. And we're going to use this to put under our eyes. This cancels out, the salmon-y color cancels out the blues and purples. And I also put it on my forehead to cancel out the brown spots that I have from hormones and sun damage. Okay, so next we are actually going to use a foundation today. One of the other products that I have been using is the foundation from Fenty Beauty. It is called the Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. I love this formula. Don't know if you're dry, if you're gonna like this guy. I would call it no more than medium coverage. I mean, I guess it's buildable, but it is not a full heavy duty coverage foundation. And this is in the color 185, and I'm putting it on my Real Technique sponge that I've dampened with water. And because I don't like my foundation to look really heavy and cakey, I start on the outer perimeters of my face and work my way in. I feel like this color matches me absolutely wonderfully, but I'm going to tell you what I've learned is that this foundation does oxidize. So next time I will get a shade lighter, and it's not too big of a deal since I put on bronzer all over my face and down my neck to my chest, but it definitely oxidizes. It holds up really well to the oils on my face. I do take it down my neck, really blend it down there. Next I'm gonna go in with my concealer, and this is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Instant Retouch Concealer. And this is in the color 150. With the color of my foundation, I think this is a little too light. I take it down far like this as to help with not having the reversed raccoon eyes. And I take it down a little bit anyway on top of my foundation because you don't want to just stop your concealer right at your dark circle. If you have dry skin, I don't know that you're gonna like how this concealer is either. So what I do like when I'm using the full face of Fenty foundation is I use my RCMA translucent powder. And I put it in this little container right here, just because it's easier to deal with. And I put my damp Real Technique sponge into it, press into my skin. And this is not gonna add any extra color or coverage, but it's going to set the foundation, and it's really, really good for oily skin. And I put that on my nose. Next I'm going to set my under eyes, and I'm going to go in with this Essence Brighten Up Banana Powder, and you can get this at Ulta, super cheap. And I'm just going to put this on using the Sigma Tapered Highlighter Brush. Next I'm going to fill in my eyebrows, and I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Pro Stylish Shape and Fill, and it's in the color Brunette. So I was using the light brunette, and I felt like it was too light. If I go too heavy on this, it can look ridiculous, so I use a light hand with it, but that also means I'm using less product, so this is the color that I'm using as of now. Okay, so we're gonna give the face a break and we're going to finish up the eyes. So there's another thing that I bought. I actually haven't even used it yet. This is the Morphe M443 brush. It's this little pencil brush. And so I kind of wanted to see how this was for putting the eyeshadow underneath of my eye. So first color I'm gonna go in with is we're gonna go back in with this guy, which is the Kinda Neutral. I'm gonna put that on the tip. Hug the lash line. And it's good for you when you do this to look down into the mirror as I'm doing, so that you don't get too far down on your actual skin. And just go from the outer corner and then drag that color all the way to the inner corner. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with Velvet and do the exact same thing from outer to inner corner. Now we're gonna do the same thing with this deep hue color. I will say I think that it's a lot easier to follow the shape of your eye with this than it might be with the flat definer brush. And now I'm gonna go in back into this palette we used before, and I'm going to take the combination of these two colors right here. I'm going to dab my pencil brush into those, and on the outer corner, and I'm gonna stop about into the middle of my eye there. So I am gonna go in with the Morphe E18 brush to blend all of the colors together underneath of my eyelashes. Lower lash line. Now I'm going to put another coat of mascara on my top lashes. I always do this when I don't wear falsies. It gives your first coat time to dry, and at least with this formula I don't get the really bad overdone tarantula eyelashes, but it's a good thing to do to give yourself more volume and length to help you out when you're not wearing falsies. Alright, so now we're going to line our upper and bottom waterlines, and I'm using the Marc Jacobs Highliner in Blacquer. So first I'm going to do the bottom. Then I'm going to tight line. Now people absolutely hate this tight lining technique, but this is yet one more step that is really going to help make your lash line look thicker and darker. Now I'm going to take a coat of mascara and put these on my bottom lashes. Now I'm going to highlight my inner corners and my brow bone. And I'm going to go in with this highlight shade right here. First I'm going to use this flat definer brush. It's a Mary Kay brush. I have no idea of a number. And just going to put that on my brow bone. And then I'm going to use my little Morphe E36 pencil brush to put this in my inner corners. And the eyes are all done. Alright, so now it is time to finish the face. And I am going to be going in with the Tarte Park Avenue Princess Amazonian Clay Matte Bronzer. And I did buy a new brush. So I absolutely love this Kat Von D brush. You've seen me use this to bronze my face. It's the number 4. And so I decided to buy another one of her brushes. This is number 20. And the way that it is, it's very, very soft. And so it's easier to put on a lighter amount of product with this. But I can do the bronzing that I do my C3PO. So doing the bronzing that in turn ends up being like a light contour, which you guys already know I don't like to contour my face hardcore. It's a nice brush. So far, I really like all her brushes. Maybe she'll come out with more because I don't think she has a ton, at least not at Sephora. And just put it on 5 head here. And I take it down my neck. And because of all the oxidization that's gonna happen, I take this onto my chest too. All right, so I am actually gonna do a light contour on my nose today. This is a contour shade from Makeup Geek here, and it's called Cool Porcelain. And so when I do contour, I do like to use my Luxie 207 medium angled shading brush right here. And I lightly dab to begin with, because as I've said before, it's easy to add and it's harder to take away. So just tap it, and I do go from the where my eyebrows end all the way down. And the closer together the lines on each side are gonna be, the more narrow you will make your nose look. Lightly to the other side. And I'm stopping this where my nose starts to flare out. I am going to take this down, but I'm gonna kinda go on top a little closer than the natural curves of the bottom of my nose come in together themselves, because I'm kind of wanting to make things smaller here. So I flare out, but the lines are coming closer together than the natural contours of my nose. And then you're gonna go from where you ended on top here, connect to the tip of your nose. And you're going to, ooh, it smells like chocolate. But again, you're gonna be coming up higher if you want your nose to not look as long. So you'll be coming up higher than where your natural point ends. All right, so once you have the lines where you want them, now you're gonna kind of do the highlighting where you want. So I'm gonna take that translucent RCMA powder that I used to set before, and I'm going to be using this guy. This is the Morphe E47 brush. And this is something that is specifically used for contouring purposes as far as I understand it. So I'm gonna take this and dab it on the center of my nose, in between the lines that we have created with that contour shade. And then I'm taking it to the bottom sides, and I'm gonna go underneath the line that we created on the sides of our nose. Okay. So obviously you don't want to leave your nose looking like this. I mean, you can if you want. I don't think anyone's gonna be giving you their number though if you do. So I'm gonna go in with this Royal and Langnickel Precision Angled brush right here. And it's basically a bigger version of the Luxie angle that we just used, and there's no product on it. So what you're doing is you're going to be wiping away this excess powder, and at the same time you're going to be softening the lines of the edges of your contour as well. So coming to this side, I go down. Same thing on this side. Then, same here. Wipe this away, going straight down. Also softening the edges to the top. For blush, I'm gonna put on this guy right here. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12 Hour blush, I believe, and this is in the color Risque. And I'm gonna use this big Morphe angled brush to put it on. So So for highlight, I am going to go in with my Fenty Beauty Kilowatt highlighter, and this is the one with the 2 different kinds in it. It's got these 2 colors, got Lightning Dust, which is this side, and Fire Crystal, which is this side. And I'm going to use the Fire Crystal today. So using my Morphe M501 brush, going to put that highlighter on the tops of my cheeks, staying out of my eye bags, to the temple here. For my Cupid's bow. Okay, so since we did the contouring on the nose, I'm going to be a little more precise with the highlight on my nose. So I'm going to go back in with this angled brush we used to contour, and I took the product off of it, or wiped it off. And I'm going to dab into that Fire Crystal again. And this is just going to keep the highlight a little more precise into the area of your nose that you want highlighted. Next, I'm going to set my eyebrows using the NYX Control Freak Eyebrow Gel. For lips, there's a combination I'm going to use. I've been loving it for my neutral looks here lately. First, I'm going to go in with this Bite Beauty lipstick, and it is the Amuse Bouche Liquified lipstick in the color Whip. On top of that, I'm going to be going in with my Marc Jacobs lip lacquer, and this is in the color Skin Deep. To set all this, I will be using my trusty Urban Decay De-Slick Makeup Setting Spray, which is awesome for oily skinned people. Instructions say like 2 to 3 sprays, I think. Then I set it with my fan. Alright people, so this is the finished look. I really liked how it turned out, and I really like the products that I used on my face. So I just wanted to share with you the new products that I had found. I do hope that you enjoyed this tutorial today. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and click on that little bell down below so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. I will see you guys next time.